This conference will now be
Hi, good
recorded.
evening. I should say good morning to you.
Yeah. Okay. How
Okay.
are you?
I'm good, but were you did you start like 2 minutes back or did you type it right now? Or did I miss something?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I was just doing something on my own.
Okay. What, you got up
Mm-hmm.
at 4 o'clock and you were solving some queries? No?
No, this was my own stuff that I was.
Okay. Okay, something old. Okay.
Hmm.
Good.
Okay. So, should we start?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just a minute. Hmm. So, if you remember last week, we were talking about different clauses of select statement. So, what we have seen so far is this thing, right? We have seen select, then we have seen from, and we have started with something called as where clause, right? So, the use of this where clause is for filtering data. I want to filter out a few things which are not needed. For example, I want to filter out only those records of employees who are earning less than 2000 rupees per month. So in that case, I will use a where clause which gives me or which fetches records from the server which satisfy only those particular conditions given in the where clause. Now, when we were talking about where clause, we have talked about some operators, and those operators that we had seen were relational operator. Do you remember? Then there was logical operator. We have also seen some other operators, like those operators were between, in, isn't it? Then like operator was there. We use pattern matching for like operator. I think like was the last one that we had discussed about, isn't it?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so these are all the operators, and these specific operators they basically work for any type of any type of data, like character data, number data, or date type of data, etc. Okay.
Hmm.
Other than that, there is one more operator that is called as is null. Okay, so that is one operator that we will study now. Now this operator, like for example, like operator, it basically works on character data, whereas is null operator, it works on null type of data. I suppose we have already discussed what do we mean by a null value, right?
Mm, yes, there was some
Yes.
null values, right? And null,
Okay.
just can you please connect? Null value is not zero.
Correct. It is not zero. It is also not space,
Hmm. Okay.
or it is also not quotes unquotes.
Yes. Okay.
It is simply void. I mean, not available.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, how do I find out whether a value is null or not? See, in SQL Server, it prints as NULL, but in Oracle, it just keeps it as blank for some
Hmm.
products. Okay. So, how you will find out whether it is a space or whether it is a null value? So you can check
What?
it out with the help of an operator called as is null, is space null. And similarly, you can negate it by using is not null.
Can you
Okay.
connect me when in what situations you would we would want
Yes,
to?
yes, I'm going to. So the operators that we are going to use for nullability is null and is not null. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to write a query, or maybe you can just tell me. This query will be, I want to find out, sorry, I want to find out, mm, Let's say I want to find out this is the question.
Mm-hmm.
So how my query would be?
Display employee who do not earn any commission.
Commission.
Uh, so for them,
So
commission should be 0
no,
because who do not earn any commission. So the
any
commission
commission.
value. Huh?
See, if I say, so let's start from, just have a look at commission column
Mm-hmm.
from EMP. Okay. So if I execute this query, I want you to focus on this one.
Yeah. So there are
There
some
is
nulls.
somebody who's earning 0. So that
0.
yeah, that tells that 0 is different than a null value. So
0
for
is different than null.
0,
Yes.
yes, right. So there are few employees who are not eligible for any commission like this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see, these are all the employees who are not eligible for commission. This one. So how will I go about it?
So first of all, select from employee where com is equal
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
com should be 0
Right.
and is not null.
Right.
Com is equal to null. So you meant to say employee where no. So we wanted somebody who earned 0, but null is not
No.
0.
No. Who are not eligible for commissions, who do not
Who is
get
the
any commission. 0 is a commission. Maybe earlier he was getting something and now it is deducted. That means he is eligible for commission. But null means they did not receive any commission.
mm-hmm. Okay.
So this query, will it work or not?
Com is equal to null. Yeah, it will give all the ones which have where commission is null.
Okay, so let's execute it. You're not going to get anything, because if you remember, I told you that how can I compare a null value with some value? Equality is when you compare x with y, right?
Mm-hmm.
So null cannot be compared with any other value. Do you remember when I said sal plus commission? It did not give me anything, because if you add salary to a null value, it gives you null value.
Mm-hmm.
So the same rule applies here also. How can I compare a null value with some value? Because null is a void value. So
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, this operator that we have chosen is wrong. So to check for a null value, the operator that we have with us it's a Boolean type. It returns true or false type of value.
Mm-hmm.
So the operator is null. That's this one, is null. Is null will tell you whether the value is true, null value is true or null value is false. Fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'll say, is it right now? So now we
Yes.
do not have all 14 rows. We have only 10 rows. And why those 10 rows? Because the filter is on commission column.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting only those rows where commission has null value.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Now I'm going to ask you to uh, change this query. And my query would be um, only those employees who are eligible for commission.
Yeah. So is not null.
Very good. So it will be is not null. Fine. So Now I will get, so see, I wanted to focus on this record,
Which one? Just a sec.
the last one,
Okay, Turner. Okay.
which is also 0. So it is a not null value that it has considered,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting all those records
Just
where
can you
permission
hold on?
is
Can you hang on for a sec? I'm getting a call. Just a sec.
okay.
Yeah, please start. Sorry.
It's So as you can see here, we are using the operator called as is not null,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So now I'm going to comment this where clause, and I want you to just have a look at this employee. Okay, in this employee table, you can see that there is employee number. So you're now by now you're familiar with this table. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but there's one column called as manager here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just explain what is this column. Every employee, he reports to some manager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what is this 7902? 7902 is nothing but some kind of employee ID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you see employee 637369, that is Smith is reporting to 7902, and 7902 is nothing but Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in short, Smith is reporting to Ford, right? So this manager basically, this manager is nothing but a foreign key to the same table.
7902 is the manager. It's
So
7902 is the employee number and the manager is that employee. Okay, got it. So what did you say? So manager is a foreign key to.
the same table employee, and manager is nothing but an employee ID. He is also some kind of employee.
Yes. So how do we define theoretically a foreign key?
Uh, Foreign key is basically referential integrity.
Is based on referential integrity.
Yes. So when you want to uh, what you can say relate one table with another table, then you take help of foreign key. For example, department number is the foreign key in employee table, which is coming from the department table. Did you get a chance to go through the PowerPoint presentation that I have shared with you?
No, no, sorry. We say that the relation instance S and T satisfy the foreign key constraint. That is a foreign key if and only if every tuple there's a tuple T that has the same values over the attributes in K as over the corresponding attributes in F. So this is a difficult one. Foreign keys are the student registrations. The following is a set of foreign keys. Okay. Okay. So got it. Got it.
Hmm?
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We can.
So, so we have just said that this manager column is there. Okay. Fine. Now, what I was telling the query, which I'm not going to solve right now. Maybe you can just note it down.
Which one? Foreign key.
No, I'm going to ask you to, I'm writing this question number 3. Okay, so maybe you can note it down, or just save it on your machine. And you are, I would like if you can try it on your own. Later on, after the session is over. List all those employees who do not report to any employee. That is the question. So question number 3. Go through it, and I would like you to do it on your own. Okay.
List all those employees who do not report to any employee.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
who
that
do
is
not,
the question.
who are their own managers actually? Yes.
Fine.
Or
So,
there is no manager. Yeah. But how do I
okay.
put it in the query format? That will be interesting. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So that is the operator that we have just right now checked about. That is null and is not null. Fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let us go ahead, and now we are going to go forward to the next. Yes. Um, if you remember, when we were talking about different operators like arithmetic operators, relational operators, there was something called as concatenation operator,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
plus symbol. Okay. So there was one problem regarding the data type mismatch. Okay. For
Mm-hmm.
example, um, we discussed that we will park that question for the time being. We said
Mm-hmm.
that select ename, comma, job from Manan. I'm sorry, but there's some kind of disturbance
Disturbance.
that
Okay.
we are having.
I'll have to mute myself actually. Sorry. So I would not be say yes or no. So whenever I'll have a question, I'll unmute myself.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay.
Yes. So select name and job from employee. So that's what our regular query. But then I have got two different columns. If I have to club it, then what do is I remove the comma, and then I use this concatenation operator. Okay. And then when I execute this query, what happens is both the fields get attached and become one column. So as you can see, now I don't have two columns, I have only one column, right? But then I can just have a text data in between and attach it one more time, so that it will not be a clumsy output, it will be two different things. Okay. Or even I can put a text here, works as whatever. So now my report generation has begun. Okay.
In
So
a way, if we did not want to put works as and just quote unquote in single quotes, this would have inserted a space between two of
yes,
the attribute
yes,
values. Okay.
yes. So Smith works as clerk. So far so good, I mean everything is working fine. But then the problem arises if at all we change the columns. Okay. Instead of ename, see right now everything went smooth because Smith and clerk. That means ename and job, both of them were of same data type, that is text. Okay, so the concatenation becomes easier. But if at all I'm trying to concatenate one text field with another number field, then that concatenation gives data type mismatch. For example, if I'm using employee with salary, okay, both of them are different data types. So now when I execute this query, I'll get an error. You know, Getting error is also important. You will able to understand the error and solve it. So what does it say? That conversion failed. That means it is not able to convert the data type, and while converting character data type to the data type of int, that is numerical data type. So in this case, what we need to do is we take the salary column and we convert it to its character data type and then use it. Okay, so how do we do that? So to convert the numerical column to its character data type, we use a function, and the name of that function is called as cast, C-A-S-T, cast. Okay. So far we have not started with functions, and soon we are going to start with functions. But let me just
But
tell you,
okay, please you finish first.
okay, there are some categories of functions. Okay, single row functions, aggregate functions, etc. Fine. And soon we are going to start with single row functions. Now, what do we mean by single row functions? Okay. See, when I talk about any function, generally functions are supposed to return a value, isn't it? Whenever it may be Oracle, it may be SQL server, or it may be any mathematics. Okay. Whenever I use any function, let's say I'm using a square root function, a function always returns a single value.
Mhm.
So if I'm using a function in a database, and if it is a single row function, why is it called as a single row function? That means
So your
it
voice is better now.
is it
Your voice is,
okay.
yeah, your voice is better because otherwise it was little low. Thank you. Just
Okay.
please use in the same way.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I was saying is,
Single row function.
yes, sorry. Single row functions, they execute on each row processed by the query and give one result. I'll repeat. Single row functions, they execute on each row processed by the query and they give one result per query. Okay. So if at all the query is fetching 100 rows, the function will execute 100 times on each row, giving different result.
On
Fine.
different rows actually.
Each row means
On each,
100
yeah,
times.
row by row. Yeah.
Yes. So 100 times the same function will get executed, giving one result per row.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So that is what we mean by single row functions. And there are n number of single row functions that we are going to come across now. Fine. Out
Mm-hmm.
of that, the first one that right now it is required here, so we are going to talk about, it is called as cast. Um, which programming language are you familiar with? Are you familiar with C?
I'm familiar with C, but I've forgotten the concepts, and I'm still
That's
looking for
okay.
someone to help me with
That's
the
okay.
basic. Yeah.
That's okay. But are you familiar with something called as typecasting?
No.
Okay, casting is basically converting the data type. That is
Mm-hmm.
nothing but type casting. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
here the cast function, it helps me to convert the data type.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is the syntax of that cast function that we will see? Uh, see cast. Okay, so anyway, I'll explain everything right now. When I'm talking about function, okay, any function. Let's say my function is f1. F1 is the name of my function. Let's say when I'm executing a function, it may be there are two types of function. That is basically built-in function and user-defined functions. We are going to study both. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we are going to study this one, built-in function. Now, what is this built-in function? That means it is provided by database. For example, like, cast, sorry, not in, um, length function, substring function. These are what all built-in functions. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
means the functionality is already provided by that database to you, and we use these functions. These are called as built-in functions. And there is something called as user-defined functions. Means what? Sometimes the functionality is not provided by the database, but that functionality you need each and every time. Okay. For example, let's say there is a calculation of tax. Okay. A complex calculation is to be done to find out the total salary of a person, fine, which is having this HRA, DA, PF, basic, and some kind of some more things like allowances, deductions, etc. So this entire calculation I have to use each and every day. So every time, instead of writing the calculation, what I can do is I can create my own function. And this function I can create by writing a program for it. Okay. And then use it like our regular functions.
Not, I'm kind of lost. I'm kind of little lost, but yeah, ठीक है. So I think I will need to do it again. So, I mean, when would this function run actually? How?
That's a very different story altogether. We create a function like it's a program basically. It's a program. So we write that program and then store it in the database and use it like any other function whenever we need it.
Does it become a stored procedure?
It is. Okay. So
and then we will call in our queries then.
Yes, yes. So when the built-in function is nothing but we give a call to the stored function that is already there. So it may be a built-in function or it may be a user-defined function. We always call it. That's how it is.
Okay.
Okay. So these are two categories of functions. So right now we are going to talk about built-in functions. Right? So don't
one
bother about
related
this.
question. One related question. When we many times we use certain functions which are we use libraries sometimes, and those libraries have some specific functions. Maybe in Bootstrap in front-end development, or in Python there are a lot of libraries. So and we call a specific function from that library. Would it fall into built-in category or user-defined category?
No, libraries. See, here we have packages actually. There is no such concept of library in database.
But packages are there, and packages have functions.
Yes, packages have functions, procedures, cursors, exceptions, variables, everything. And then we use packages, and from that package, we load these programs.
Yeah, so packages have built-in functions.
No, built-in functions are already there by the database. We directly use them. We do not have to load anything.
Can you give an example of built-in function?
Yes, we are going to use all of them. So
okay,
let me just explain you how to use a function.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever I'm using a function, basically, do you know that we have to pass parameters to a function? Are you aware of the concept of parameters?
Yes, function has got parameters, right?
Right. Yes, they are also called as arguments.
They are arguments. Yeah, you have to pass, and the arguments can vary according to the situation. It's like just like there are values of a variables in an equation, which has say more than two variables, x, y, z, and then these values can change. So the solution of the equation will be different based on the value we give to each variable.
Yes. So basically, let's say I have a function called as f1 to which I am passing a parameter called as 6, 2. Okay. So what do we say that 6, 2 are what? That means this function f1, it accepts two parameters or it accepts two arguments. And depending upon the parameters that we pass to the function, then accordingly it calculates the stuff. And and it throws one result. And ideally, a function should come up with single result.
Mm-hmm.
You can write functions giving multiple values, but that is not a good coding practice.
Please, can you repeat this part? When you give two values of parameters, like say 6, 2,
Hmm.
what then what happens?
The function will accept these parameters, and then there might be a code written inside it, and taking these two parameters, it will perform some kind of calculation.
Right.
Okay, and it will then come up with one result and
Okay,
give
and
it.
then that's all what you said, or something else?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
So generally, a function returns single value. That is what I say. Okay. So
Okay.
this is what a function is all about. So now we are going to look at something called as cast function. Okay. So cast is a function which generally is used to convert one data type to another data type. For example, I am going to say cast sal to not to as varchar. Okay, so what do we mean by the first parameter that I pass is it is the value that I want to convert, and
Mm-hmm.
this parameter that I am passing is the data type to which I want to convert.
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, and as it is a keyword, you have to use it as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you know this char and varchar.
Mm-hmm.
Char is a fixed length data type,
Yes.
and varchar is variable length data type.
Yes.
Okay, so now we are going to use this cast function to concatenate ename along with the salary column. Okay, fine. So this error is going to get removed. What we are going to do is we are going to cast. Now can you see that for the first time it has changed the color? Pink has been introduced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all these functions, they will come in pink color. So
Mm-hmm.
this color codes are also important. That keywords are blue, object names are green, and procedures or functions, they come up in pink color. So if at all you are using a function which is not correct or which is not built-in function, it will not come in pink color. So you will come to know that something is wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So see, and the moment see, being a Microsoft product, it is like it is quite helpful. Cast, the moment I type the function, it also tells you what parameters you should pass. So you can just follow the same syntax. Okay. So the first parameter that is asking you to pass is the expression. So what expression I'm passing to it? I'm passing salary, and then I'm saying as what cast I want to do. I want to cast it as, the moment I type var, it tells you the data types. Okay, I choose varchar, and now we will check whether the query will work or not. Right.
Right.
So Smith with 800. Now again I can do that reporting, so that is not important right now. I can add one more plus symbol and I can say that Smith earns salary 800, like that. So I can attach one more string to it.
At which place? Between employee and cast or after cast? Here. Okay. Employee. Double quotes.
No, single quote.
Earns. Yeah. Just single quotes, but quote unquote here on salary and then plus there. Okay. You wanna add this? Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And so I can work like this also.
Mm-hmm.
You can try different combinations, like uh, how much, let's say he works in which department, like that.
He works in which department?
So Smith works in which department? So you will have to use e-name along with department number.
Yes. So works in can be the filler. So
Yes.
employee works in this department. Yeah. Okay.
So this can be one more question which you can solve on your own. Okay, you can just take a screenshot of this later on probably, so that you don't have to write everything all over. So
Yes.
before we end, you can just take a picture of this.
Okay.
And question is,
Yeah, I'm muting because there's background noise. Okay.
uh, that would be generate a report. Generate a report which should display like this, which should display employee works in, and then department number. Okay, so Smith works in department 20. That's how it should be. So that a report you can generate. And not only salary, you can also have calculated fields here. Fine. So now let us have a look at this. As you can see, this is the symbol that we have used, plus symbol, and cast is the function which is here we have casted last name with employee ID. So last name is character type and employee ID is number type. So that cast is done. E-name with job, then name with salary, and you can also cast here, let's say, department number. So this is what you are supposed to do. Okay, fine. So that was about cast function. Now I'm going to start with the simple one, that is first of all string related function. Okay, so there are different categories of functions that we come up with. So if I tell you, sorry, yes. So basically, for single row functions, there are different categories of functions. Okay, right now we have seen casting functions, that is converting the data. Then there are character type of functions, that means functions which support character type of data. Then date type of data, number type of data, and general functions. General functions means those functions which supports multiple data types. Okay, it may be character, number, or date, like that. Or basically they deal with null values, functions which deal with null values. So these are all the characters, what you can say, different types, categories of single row functions that we are going to explore. Okay, okay, fine. So out of that, right now we are going to start with character type of single row functions. Okay, so let us start with that. String functions. Is this visible to you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the first function that we are going to talk about is called as len function. Now len, L-E-N, it basically returns the length of the string. Fine. So let us start with that function. See, no program in the world can begin without hello world. So why not ours? I'm saying
Even
select.
SQL can give hello world output.
Definitely.
Okay.
See, like I told you, SQL Server gives us liberty to omit the from clause.
Did you tell this before?
Yes, yes, I had discussed it before also. Do you remember we had talked about dual table in Oracle?
Select something dual. Yeah.
Yeah, so in Oracle, you cannot skip the from clause. There has to be a table name. But
Mm-hmm.
for calculations in SQL Server, you can skip the from clause and still it will perform the calculation part. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so right now I do not want to refer to any table. I'll just say hello world. So, okay, can you tell me, think and tell me, okay? Let's say it's a question. What will be the output of this?
Select 1 plus 1. It can compute. You did show that SQL can actually do arithmetic algebraic computing, and the answer was return, but 1 plus 1 should be 2.
It can be 2, it can be 1, it can be 11, because plus can be a concatenation operator as well, isn't it?
Yes, plus is a concatenation operator. Then it should be 11.
So it can be 2, it can be 11, or it can simply give me error, or it can give me 0, or it can execute the query but not give any result.
No idea.
This is called as implicit typecasting. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
why? Because both are numerical numbers, and so internally it can simply add. Fine.
So
So
any number written there is actually interpreted as a int
yeah,
type,
yes,
numeric type.
yes, yes, and so
Mm-hmm.
it is calculated. Fine.
And that is why last time when you showed computing, like it could do arithmetic operations, and we
Yes,
were getting
yes,
algebraic answers. Okay.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So this is for this right now. If you can see, I did not need any table,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? If
Yes.
if if I would have said ename along with it, then suppose I change this query from EMP. Now will it work?
Select 1 plus 1 comma ename from employee. Yes, it will work.
It has to work, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same query, but just that in the last query we did not use this part. Okay,
Yes.
it is same as writing sal plus 100. 1 plus
Mm-hmm.
1 is same as writing sal plus 100, isn't it? Just that we do not have any column name here. We have
Mm-hmm.
simply two different names, right?
Yeah. So in a way, the query writing person, the person who is writing query, should have in mind what kind of column he wants to have.
Definitely. See, this is where, that's what I'm saying. This is where domain knowledge comes into picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, fine. So right now I don't want this entire stuff. I'm just focusing on how to use the len function. Okay, so I'm using len. Len is the function. As you can see, it is definitely here. And the moment I open the bracket, it tells you how many arguments it can accept. So it can accept the argument which is the character type of argument, and because it's a string, I have to provide it in single quotation marks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
hello world. Okay, now when I'm, what should be the output of this query if I execute it?
So
So
in
this function
quotes,
basically, this function len, it basically does not return string, but it returns number.
yes, definitely, because it checks the length of the string,
Entire string, yes.
entire
So it,
string.
yes. So whatever string you have passed to it, it will execute that function. So this function will find out the length of characters and return it, including space, including space.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
whenever
the,
there is a space, that is also counted in string.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine. So either you can use this way, or I can say select ename, comma, len of ename. I can also see either I can pass a string to it or I can pass columns,
Mm-hmm.
because ultimately we are not going to use hello world. We are going to use it on database, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can also pass column name as a parameter or argument to it, and the query's output will be what, like this.
Select ename, len ename from employee. Yes, perfect.
Yes.
I have a related question.
Yes.
Uh, what is the relationship between query editor, where we are writing queries, and DBMS and the DB itself? Can I explain it, and then probably you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Okay.
So query editor is like feeding into the just like we have petrol pump or gas station or fuel station, we enter that we want 10 liters of fuel, and it puts in the value. So query editor is like that touchpad where, and the screen and the GUI, where we just write the thing for the device to understand. So which everything is understood by. Then there is DBMS, management system. So yeah,
Hmm.
so this query is interpreted by some part of DBMS, which
Hmm.
gets connected to the real DB in the backend, and then
Hmm.
fetches the answer.
See, right. In this case, whatever typing we are doing is
Mm-hmm.
done through the editor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this environment, SQL Server's environment, this this is called as SSMS. The
Mm-hmm.
tool that we are using right now is called as SSMS. That
Mm-hmm.
is what, SQL Server Management Studio.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are writing this query. So this is called as the editor.
Mm-hmm.
And when we click on the execute button, it sends this query's request to the database to which it is connected to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the server will execute this query, and it will give me the answer, that is the
Right.
request response.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Query
fine.
is a request, and whatever output is there is the response.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Hmm. Fine. So right now it is fine, but which is the practical use of this function? That is more important. See, you will understand the syntax, but where it can be implemented, that should be, given more stress on. Uh, for the best example would be password,
Right.
isn't
So
it?
minimum should be say
Uh,
8 letter or something.
yes, right. So how will I check it? Okay, so I'll be writing a program for it. Fine. So whenever a user enters a password, before accepting a password, let's say I'm creating a form, so I'm adding a record, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is generating its email address, etc., etc. I'm generating a Yahoo account. I'm creating a new Yahoo account, and then a text box will appear with red asterisk mark, and it says enter password here, confirm password. Okay, so before I save that record as a new record, I will have to check if length of that column is less than or is less than 8 characters. So I will find it out. I'll use len function.
Mm-hmm.
So suppose there is a column called as password. Right now there is no such column, so it is giving red wavy line. Red wavy line means error. Just remember
Mm-hmm.
that much. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can write a program later on, if length of password is less than, let's say, 8, then raise some kind of exception and throw the error to the user, like that. Okay, getting my point? So in such scenarios, we can use Len function. Fine. Now, let's say in our employee table, if I ask you to write this query, then think and tell me what you would write. List employees. I'm just using short form and I'm saving time. List employees earning salary in thousands.
Exactly. So anytime this thousands could be thousands should be 5,000, 10,000, even 99,000 is thousands, right? So 10,000 should be 5 actually, and even 1,000, 1, 3 zeros. And so from 1,000 to 99,000, there will be a variation of 1 digit. So can you tell me which what
So
exactly are we
let's
looking?
say right now we do not have anybody who's earning more, like 10 or something. The maximum salary in our table is right now 5,000.
Yeah,
So
so just more than 999.3. So anybody whose salary length of that string is 4. So len
so can you
se-
tell me the query?
select select e name comma, because
Okay.
we want that employee name comma len salary, how much is there, and then len. Okay, we want salary also, len of sal column. Length comes there from employee, but I want to create a condition where
Right. So
uh, length, where sal, we can just say salary greater than 999, or length salary equal to length of salary equal to 4. That could be one way. But why not my other thing could have given a similar, although because we wanted really, only 4 thing. Okay, but if we have given where sal greater than 999,
we
so
can
every,
say
I want to
we
see the output. Can you
so
please put? Okay,
it is there. It is there. See.
so all 4, so you have selected only 4, but as you said that nobody has salary greater than 5,000. That's true.
Yeah. So you can say greater than or equal to 4. So even if somebody has 10,000 salary, still it will give me the result.
Give me the result. Just want to see if greater than 999 works. Where sal greater than 999. Can you
So
please?
see in that right now for that then you will be using values.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Values of what? I mean, where my thing is,
Right?
where I want to create a condition where salary greater than a number, fixed number.
Yeah. That will
And
become a different thing. This becomes a different thing.
okay, where sal greater than 999.
It's the same result. Okay. But then here what you are doing is you are using a hard coded value. And here I am using
Yes.
the function. So it's
Yeah.
always better not to use hard coded values because the data keeps on changing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the records keeps on updating. So you should
Yeah.
use generalized functions. Then, so at any point of time, the query should work. That's what our aim is.
Right. Right.
Okay, so now for the first time, we have noticed something which I want to highlight, that star star star. you can use single row functions in where clause also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is what we have seen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So so
How
far
do you scribble on a notepad? What do you use to scribble on a notepad?
that's a tool, no? That we the GoToMeeting has this tool.
Okay.
It,
Okay, got it. Okay.
hmm, hmm. So Goto. So what I wanted to tell you was that so far we have just seen it in the select statement, but what I wanted to tell you was it can also be used in the where clause to filter conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So we have used it. So we have seen it in string, we have seen it with column, and we have also seen it how to use it in the where clause. Is it fine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was, yeah. So that was about the len function. Let us immediately come to the next type of string function, that is called as these are called as case conversion functions. So the next type of function that we are going to use, they are called as sorry they are called as case conversion functions. Case conversion functions are basically to convert lowercase to uppercase or uppercase to lowercase, that type. Now,
Right.
where, in what scenarios do you need these functions? Is basically, like I told you, the data entry operator can enter the data in different formats, or I may be accepting data through multiple sources in multiple ways, isn't it? It may be
Mm-hmm.
coming from Excel, it may be coming from Oracle. So do we have control over how the data is getting poured into my table? No, right? So we do not know that in what case it is coming to me, but it is my system's decision that I store all the data in capital letters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I can do is when I am accepting the data or when I am inserting a record into my table, see, first you insert the record, then you convert it, and then you again save it. Instead of that, at the time of accepting the data itself, I convert it and then store it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the functions that I can use in insert or update or in select, they are called as upper and lower. Upper function, it converts the data into all capital letters, and lower function converts it to all small case. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
it will be like select upper of hello world. So I'm writing everything in small case, and then I'm saying select lower. Here I'll writing everything in capital letters. Okay, so what this function is going to do, it is going to convert hello world to uppercase, and this is going to convert hello world to lowercase. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so let's execute it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like this, or I can also say, I can also use it for comparing. I can say select start from employee. So suppose Smith is written in uppercase. See, basically SQL Server is not case sensitive, so it is not creating any problems. But some databases like Oracle, okay, as you can see, Smith is written in capital letters or it is stored in capital letters. Okay, but if I'm firing this query in Oracle, if I say select ename from employee where ename is equal to Smith. And if I execute this query, right now it will execute in SQL Server because it is not case sensitive. But the same query will not get executed in Oracle because it compares exact match. Okay, so in that case, what I can do is I can say like this.
Select ename from employee where ename is.
Okay,
Sorry.
so
So
what it
this is finding the Smith name in uppercase.
first of all, what it will do? First of all, it will convert this to uppercase and then it will compare it with the records of table.
Where ename is good. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Or else I can work vice versa. Instead of this, I will first convert and then compare. Like for example, I can say like this.
No, not getting that. It will first convert the ename, select ename from employee, where lower ename is equal to Smith.
Smith.
So you mean to say
Now it
in
will
general,
first convert to its lowercase and then compare it with this lowercase Smith. So either way, both ways are correct.
both ways are same, I think.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Either you convert first and then compare, or you compare it with converted value. But the functions are different. Here it is upper of Smith and here it is lower of ename. The results are same.
Yeah. In general, which one gets executed first, where clause or the from?
Okay. Actually, this topic I was to cover later on when we will study order by clause. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you how the query gets executed. Okay.
And there is somewhere it is related to query optimization also.
Uh-huh. You should know which clause gets executed first.
And that is how you optimize, right?
The optimizer is a tool actually. It's a different thing which is helps us, to find out the results after the execution of the query. Okay,
Can you
fine.
can you
So
show can we actually access the optimizer of DBMS?
maybe we'll not distract ourselves right now.
Okay.
We'll eventually talk about it.
I mean, you can just answer yes or no.
Yes, we can
Because
do that.
because this is a question for 2 years now. Can we actually access the optimizer of a
Yes.
database management system and we can okay. It will be good to see that. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
I'm saying not by just writing the query or tweaking the query, but rather somewhere see what is the code behind or what is the optimizer.
I mean the performance of the query.
Yeah, the performance of the query actually, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, good.
So the next type of function that we are still into the category of character functions. Okay, that is string functions. So the next string functions we are going to talk about is trimming. Okay. So when I'm saying trim, means I cut extra spaces from either the starting position of the string or ending part of the string. Trim means only trimming from ends. I cannot cut extra spaces in between. Fine. Now these are very helpful functions, as in, like I told you, the strings that we store, sometimes they come with unknowing extra spaces, and when we compare those strings, we come up with different results. Okay. So if at all, for example, I have select, there is something called as len of ABC. Then I have len of ABC, and then I have then I have len of ABC. Is everything same? All of them are ABC.
Spaces might be different. In fact, might be different means what? I mean, I can see the last ABC has got no space there, so that length of the string would be 3. The first one has got ABC first, and then probably 2 or 3 spaces, and then first ABC has got first C little more space than the second one. Yeah, so spaces are counted. So 6,
Yes.
3, and 3. The first
Yes.
one, okay. The space after this thing is not counted.
So see, the problem is, suppose I have got, if I'm saying select star from employee, where let's say ename is equal to Jones. Suppose such kind of query I'm writing. The Jones is very much present in my table, but it is not showing in the results. Then I keep on wondering that employee Jones is very much there in my company, but I'm not able to see it in the results of the query, right? So where is it that I'm going wrong? I'm going wrong because Jones is not same as space Jones. Getting my point? So when the record of
Star meant what? Select star means everything.
yes,
So
the problem I'm talking about the value Jones. Value means that I'm looking for a person called as Jones, but I'm not getting any records because while the data got stored, the data was stored was like this, and I am writing a query like this. Okay,
right.
so I feel like I'm looking for Jones, but actually I should look for space Jones, and then there you get the results which are not expected. So what you should do is, whenever your system is accepting data or whenever you are updating records, you should first trim and then accept,
Right.
so that there will be no such issues with leading or trailing spaces, and only the string that you are looking at is can be stored in permanently in your database. Okay, so how you can do that? You can do that with the help of the functions. They're called as trim functions. The first one is ltrim and the next one is rtrim. Okay, ltrim, as you can see, it trims spaces from the left hand side, and rtrim, it trims from the right hand side of the string. Okay, so I'll copy this text. Here's some kind of text that we have here. Okay, so I will execute all of it. See, the first one is, it's the original string. That means it has got many spaces. Okay. Then the next one I'm using ltrim. So after ltrim, what is going to happen? These many spaces, they are going to get cut off. And as a result, I'm going to find out what is the length of, now length function. Length of this is 25, and this is, I'm saying ltrim, and after ltrim I'm finding out length, it becomes 5 now. So now I only have a string and not string with spaces. Understood? Now I want you to
Yeah.
focus on this, the highlighted part. Okay, so I want you to focus on this. This is called as nested function. Okay, now what is this nested function? That means a function within a function. Okay, Okay, so please remember that whenever you are using single row functions, you can have any level of nested function. That means a function within a function, within a function, within a function. But that is not the case with aggregate functions. There can be only one level of nesting in case of aggregate functions. For example, max of average. Can you go before further that? No. There's only one value you get with aggregate function, isn't it? I cannot go beyond nesting. Are you understanding?
Beyond nesting, max of average. Yeah,
That will
but that
come up
could
with
be
only one value. You
that could
cannot
be
further nest it.
that could be multi-level nesting.
That's what I'm saying, that single row functions can be nested to any level. I can have 15 single row nested functions. But for aggregate function, I can nest them only up to one level. I cannot go further that because I come up with only single value with that.
Okay, I think that would be good to see actually, if you can give an example.
So this right now we're talking about single row functions, isn't it? So can you tell me how a nested function gets executed internally?
So the internal most gets solved first. It's inside
Right.
out.
Yes, obviously. See, it starts from the innermost to the outermost. That is how they flow. Okay. So the innermost function will execute first, giving result to the outer function. Taking it again, the outer function will get evaluated. So in this case, first which function will get executed?
The L trim. So it will trim the string in the bracket.
Yes. So first of all, it will trim the string and keep only PYXIS. And then taking this, it will find the length of it. Okay. So it is giving you 5. Okay. So this is what nesting functions is. So like this, you can keep on nesting different single row functions. Fine. Okay. So that was about L trim and R trim. Now I guess you can try R trim on your own. It's same like L trim, just that you give spaces to the right hand side of the string and trim them.
Where would such a situation arrive? I mean, it would R trim, so it would only remove the R trim, and L trim actually remove only the blank spaces, the white spaces.
Yes, extra
Okay,
spaces.
extra
Yes.
spaces. Does this, so you gave a business scenario that, while entering data, some space inadvertently got inserted. That's why
Correct.
we remove that.
Yes, because afterwards when you are comparing strings, then at that time it does not give you results. You look for only that string, and if it is along with the spaces, then it will not compare.
Yeah. Otherwise, if we do not know the position of at which place the space is, suppose I'm in a word, there is a space within the word, not on the left, not on the right, and we don't even know the position.
Yeah, no. Trimming is only from both the ends. It's in between spaces, it is not responsible for trim. See, because it may happen that it's a complete string. Okay. So, for example, CEO space of space the space company, CEO of the company. So there are many spaces in this string. But then if I remove them, then the meaning gets changed. So trimming is only for both ends, either left end or right end. Leading or trailing, that's what it is all about.
Okay.
Fine. I'm going to tell it to you in Excel. In Excel it trims in between spaces also. So it will remove multiple spaces and keep one space, even if it is within the string. That is an advantage of Excel. Fine. So now we are going to go forward to this function. See, this is a very famous function, substring, which is available across all programming languages, all databases, everywhere. Substring. Now, what is this substring function is, if I want to take out a part of a given string, then I use substring. Okay. Now, how many parameters it is accepting?
Hello world, comma 2, comma 3. Looks like 3. The string
Yes.
itself and the
Yes.
position.
Yes.
Probably the start position and the end position, or
So,
between the.
yes, correct. Correct. So substring is, first of all, you pass the actual string to it. Then you pass the starting position. That means it is not necessary that every time you have to start from the beginning of the string. You can start from somewhere middle also. Okay. So that is the starting point, and how many characters ahead from that starting point. That is the last parameter. Fine. So let us see how it works. So maybe I'll start with, sorry, 21 to nahi hoga, 1 and 5. Okay. So I started with hello world, and want to start with 1 and 5 characters ahead from 1.
What time are we gonna take break? Approximately after how much time?
It is after let's say 25 minutes more.
Okay, after 25 minutes. So we will have how much? 15 minutes or 30 minutes?
Sorry. It is 7:25 right now here. So 8 o'clock we will stop, right? So 35 minutes or maybe 30 minutes more.
So after 30 minutes, we will have a break for how long?
You want to take a break or means how? You
Yeah, I
want to
want to take lunch. Dinner, sorry. So I need to select 20 minutes.
So so this is 7:25 here right now.
Maybe I can take after 30 minutes, or yeah, once we are done with SQL, then we'll take a break and then we can start Excel.
Okay.
Okay, after 30 minutes.
What
Yes.
I can do is instead of 8 o'clock, I will give, I'll stop at 7:50.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Okay.
So this is the output of the query. Hello. Hello. So starting from first position, that is H, and 5 characters ahead from that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. 5 from the beginning. So it's like from the comma, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So O 1 comma 5. So O comes at 5th place.
Yes.
But what does 1 mean?
Starting from the beginning. One
Starting
is
from. Okay.
So if I say 6 comma 5, let's see what happens.
6,5. So 6 पे स्टार्ट किया उसने, ओ के बाद पहला स्पेस कर दिया तो W आ गया, R आ गया, L आ गया, और उसके बाद 5 और काउंट कर लिया तो उसने 1 2 3 4, but there is nothing like 5th.
Yeah, maybe I'll just 6.
Then 6 comma. 6,6 तो पूरा
Give me world only. So
तो
it
word
depends on how much part of the string you want.
okay getting
See, basically, like when it is useful, I have let's say customer ID. Okay, my customer ID is basically it is like this. Okay, there are different customers from different countries probably. So my customer ID is 1234, and let's say he is from Maharashtra, and the zone is west. Okay, so this is how my customer ID is broken. Okay, uh, this is the unique code, and then comes MAH, that is what the state, and from that state, which part of that state, east, west, is Maharashtra, west Maharashtra, like that. Okay, so I want to know all those customers who belong to Maharashtra.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm very much sure that first three characters are what first three characters are part of this thing. So I can skip that much and get Maharashtra customers. So
Mm-hmm.
my substring will be what? Customer ID. Instead of string, I'll be giving a column name, and then I will start from fourth onwards, and from fourth onwards it will be 3,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'll get all those customers who belong to Maharashtra state, like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Right.
So this is how you can find out all those things. So for example, I'll say select, sorry, I'll say select ename ename, and starting from first position 3 from employee. So you can use
Mm-hmm.
column here. So the output that I'll get is first 3 letters of every employee's name,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it? So if there is, if suppose there are very big department names, have you seen the data of department table? Select star from DPT. The name is DPT.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Got a
it has
number,
got the
name, and location. Okay.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of ename, I want shorten D names. So I want DPT. Okay, so I'm using substring of D name, only 3 characters of department name. So that's how accounting, research, sales, and operations. So this is how I'll come to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So taking out a substring or a part of string. Now there is something called as replicate. This is for the repetition. If you want to repeat a particular string multiple times, then you use this replicate. Okay, so for example, when I copy this, the inverted commas, they needs to be changed.
Why are we using replicate?
The
Okay,
replicate
hello, come up
function,
by.
it first I'm using the string, and then how many times you want to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. So if you want to multiple times use the same thing, then you use. See, sometimes it happens whenever I'm using account number. Most of the times such applications happen. I'm doing some transaction. And I enter my customer ID. And then I enter my account number, and then I enter the password. After I enter the password, and when I press enter, or when I begin the transaction, then my password gets replicated. Those dots gets replicated 2 times or 3 times.
Okay, are you talking about you're talking about the password and hashing those things. The password becomes
Yeah.
further those many strings. Okay.
Yes,
Encryption
extended
doing it.
password.
Yeah.
So in such cases, you can replicate it.
So in such cases, I mean, although that thing is not executed by DB, but that is executed by something else. The moment we enter an 8-digit password, it becomes 16, and that is
Yes.
basically something done by encryption.
So there will be a program which will get fired.
Yeah.
And that program has this function in it.
Replicate function. Replicate. It would not replicate the digits. It would randomize and do a lot of things in those 8 digits which get added. I have done that algorithm somehow.
Yeah. So it may
But
be
then
repeating string.
yes, but replicate is a resembling thing. It could be got it. It could do some business scenario. It could serve some purpose. Yes. Nice. Yeah.
So it basically repeats the thing. That is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is replicate. The next function that we are going to come across is called as replace. Okay. So what it does is it replaces a given string with another string. Just a minute, just a minute.
Okay, no problems.
Sorry.
No problems.
Okay. So as you can see, this replace function, the first parameter that I'm passing is the actual string. The second parameter that I'm passing is the string that you are looking for. And the third parameter that I'm passing is the string that is to be replaced with. So if I execute this query, can you please tell me what will be the output of this query?
So replace this thing, 2005 by 2012. Yeah, so it will be SQL Server 2012 DB database.
Right, very good. So it will be replacing the same value with the given value. For example, I am having quarter one's result, and I'm also having quarter two results. Okay, and there are a few things that are same. Okay, the report heading is same, or the names of the salespersons are same. Okay, the only thing that is changing is year is changing, or there is some kind of string. Let's say only months are changing. Okay, so I have to replace quarter one with quarter three, or I want to replace the month June with the month let's say September or something. So that replacement. So instead of replacing it or changing it one by one, I can use a function called as replace. Right. So now the result is this. Now, what will happen if there are multiple occurrences of 2005 in the string? Will it replace only one or will it replace all?
Not getting.
Suppose it's like this. I'm changing the string now. So will it replace only one
Right.
this
So
string, or
2005.
will it replace all of
Both.
them?
Both. All of them means not both. All of them.
Okay, so that would be interesting to see. So let us execute. Fine.
All of them are
So
replaced.
yes, so this is the behavior of this function. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so wherever it finds that value, it replaces with the given value.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the first one is the actual string, the next one is the value to be changed, and the third one is the value which needs to be changed with
Mm-hmm.
replacing value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are the three parameters which you pass to the replace function.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is a function called as char index. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
So let us check out what is this function. This is very interesting to see. This function char index, it does not return character. It returns the number.
Yeah, the
Basically, what it
position.
exactly? It
Yeah.
returns the position of this given character in the string.
Mm-hmm.
So it is similar to, there is a function in Oracle called as instring.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a brother of instring in SQL Server.
So in
Okay.
string in Oracle, and here it comes as char
Char
index.
index. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something called as select. Let's say I am having char index. Okay. So I'm using char index. Now it is going to tell me. First one is the expression. So let's say I want to look for something as at the rate. The next one is the value. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So value is, let's say, abc dot uh, abc dot smith dot abc anc whatever at the rate um, pqr.com. That is my string. It's some kind of email address, and I want to start from here, and I'm going to execute this.
Char index at this comma 1.
So it is returning 10. So what is this 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So what we are trying to do here is, I want to find out a at the rate, position of at the rate. 10 is what? Position of at the rate in the given string.
What is 1?
It's the search position.
I don't get. What is search position?
From where you want to start looking for this character.
Okay. Okay. This is actually the initial, initial position,
Isn't it?
right? Yeah.
Fine. So I'll be able to find out where is the at the rate.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. So
Mm-hmm.
you can use this as a hint. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do this homework, and I mean it, that this will be a good practice for you. See, most
Got
of
it.
the times, it will be like name, uh, email address is the column, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And how is it generated? First name attached with last name at the rate companyname.com.
Mm-hmm.
We do not enter email address. Okay, that's how it goes. So now what I want you to do is, I want you to separate name from the email address.
Mm-hmm.
Did you understand my question?
But
My
name and
question,
email name and email address were already separate columns.
separate name from email. Sorry, email. This I, and hint is you have to use nested functions. Okay. Hint is you have to use nested. I almost 80% I have told you. Substring and char index. There's very few
Separate
things
name from
left to be
email.
done.
But what is? Can you specify in the question that name and email are separate columns?
No, no. You use like this only. Right now our table doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
You can take your own string. Only one string like this, the one that I have taken.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can assume
Okay.
that name and email are given in the same column.
No, no. There is no table name. Don't use any table.
Mm-hmm.
See, like I have done, like our hello world,
Mm-hmm.
without any table. So what you are supposed to do is you should consider any one email address, maybe your own email address,
Mm-hmm.
and it should extract name from the email address.
Oh, okay. So x dot y at pqr.com makes x is the name.
So see, right now with this email address, what should be the output? Let me tell you the output.
Okay,
Output
it's like
should be,
first name dot last name.
yeah. If I consider this string right now, the
Mm-hmm.
output should be,
Smith,
this should be the output.
and the dot still remains.
Yes, because so what it should cut is, it should cut part from this onwards.
Right,
At the rate company name should go,
right,
right?
right.
So I have explained a lot of things. I have given you many hints so far. So I think
Okay,
you should be, you should use nested function. One more hint,
okay,
fine. So,
okay.
see, this is like a ready-made functions are not. So whatever functions we learn, we should be able to implement them like this. So you should come up with different scenarios and see how you can use the function there.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that we have discussed right now, like you need to use nested functions and use that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what you will be doing. And then let me just check anything else. Okay, so that was all about string functions. Okay, so I'm covering the most commonly used and widely used string functions. So the next category of functions that we will be starting, actually that is date functions, but then it's a big one, so I don't want you to, I don't want to overload you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just take a small topic and then we will end. Okay.
But
uh,
you will
that
take
is
date functions in a data class.
definitely, definitely.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
so
And I think with the break thing also, what turns out that break. I mean, I will try to keep it as short as possible, but sometimes it may happen that I have to take dinner, so it's going to be like 10:30 at my end. So hopefully that is going to be my dinner time. So from 20 to 25 minutes. I'll try to be on seat as early as possible.
Okay. You know round function in maths?
Yes.
It's the same thing that is present here
I
also.
know the more complex laws of rounding when the digit is 5 or an even number and all those things. I don't know how complex this rounding is.
So it's the same thing, just that it is in a query. I may not be a better person to tell you because I'm not a mathematics guy person. Okay, my background is I'm basically my bachelor's degree is in zoology. So
Oh,
yes,
good.
so
Life sciences and zoology. Good.
yeah, so nowhere near mathematics. So I'm not
So
good at that.
biomedical engineering is like you understand your undergrad
Yes,
degree is in zoology. Okay, good.
yes, yes.
That
So
gives me confidence that even I can do SQL.
definitely,
Definitely. I have to. Are you certified also in SQL? Some sort of
yes,
certification?
yes,
What
yes.
certification you have done?
Oracle certification.
Wow. So Oracle,
Mhm.
Oracle is a real good thing out here.
Yes,
I'll also look for. They have a basic certification called OCA,
yes.
and the
OCA
basic
is
most.
OCA is like see basically OCA has two papers.
Hmm.
Um, you have to give SQL paper,
Hmm.
and then you have to give one more paper called as PLSQL.
Hmm.
So when you complete these two courses, I think the course ID is 007. So if you give these two papers, I mean if you clear these two papers, then you become Oracle certified associate.
So one has to qualify both the papers to get Oracle certified associate.
Yes,
How much
and
is the
then
fee approximately?
no, I don't know because I have given it like a few years before. It's not the recent one that I have given.
But still, approximately.
I really cannot predict now because things have changed during the course of time.
Okay.
Yeah, but it may be present on this thing. You can just go through Oracle site
Okay.
and you will definitely get it there. They will be having all codes of exams and their this thing
Yeah, good
fees.
thing is that probably the industry drives people. So you have got SQL and data industry, and
Hmm.
life sciences have no industry in
Mm-hmm.
India, and that is why probably drove me also towards data.
Now actually everything is now going to get merged with BI. BI is coming up very fast, so everything is going to get merged using statistics. So statistics are like very data sciences. Basically data sciences is the most important thing these days coming up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay.
So it really doesn't matter whether it is it's a combination of pure sciences with this techniques.
Technology. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, so that's how it goes. Anyway, so
Okay.
as you know, you can see this is instead of me telling you, it's the thing that you need to explore on your own. So I'll execute this query. See, round, it accepts two parameters, the actual value and the number of digits that you want to round it off to. So as
Mm-hmm,
you can see here, there are two parameters. One is a positive integer and the other one is negative integer. Okay,
mm-hmm.
so first we will execute the first query. So what you see here is it is giving me 420,
Mm-hmm,
rounding it off to the second position.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is giving me 420. What if I'm saying round it off to 1? It will keep it as 420. What if I say 7? It will make it 500. Are
Mm-hmm.
you getting?
Right.
And So now if I, instead of a positive integer, if I now use a negative integer, can you please tell me whether it will work on the integer part or the decimal part?
Don't know. -2. 200.
So it is working on the whole number.
Oh, complete number got rounded, yeah.
See, I'm saying
Even the
minus.
decimal part got removed and the whole number part also got removed or rounded.
And now, yes, now if I say round it off to 1, -1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 240
It becomes 240.
-2, 200. पहले
Yeah.
उस नंबर का 200 हो गया -2. डेसिमल चला गया, डेसिमल दोनों में जा रहा है, उसका 200 हो गया यानी कि 4 भी चला गया था.
So it is working on the integer part right now.
या इंटीजर का ones, tens, hundreds, right?
Yes,
ऐसे कर.
yes, yes.
तो ones वाली राउंड हुई, फिर tens वाली राउंड हो गई. Okay, got it.
Good. Now, similarly, round it rounds off to it rounds off the value, and similarly floor. Floor is, it returns the largest integer that is equal to or less than. So round it is basically rounds off to its higher value, and floor is it rounds off to its lower value.
Mm-hmm.
Equal to or less than. That is what it looks for. So if I execute this query, if I execute this query, 25.75, and the function that I'm using is floor function. So if I execute it, it will be 25, equal to or the lesser value. Okay, but if I'm using let's say some negative value, probably, yes, if I'm using this value minus 13.5, and I'm using floor for it, so it will be -14. So it will floor it to -14,
Right.
the lesser value. Fine. So that is what the round and floor, these are mathematical functions.
Okay. So
We'll take a break here now.
Okay, yes.
And,
I'm feeling
and
hungry.
maybe, see, it is 7:55 here on my machine.
Yes.
So probably I'll start after 15 minutes.
You want me to be back in 15 minutes? I will rush.
I'll just start. I will start the revision of last session. So what we have.
Oh yeah. We will have to inform her also accordingly. So
Yeah.
I can
I'll
ping.
just start slowly, and you can join them.
Okay. Probably I can ping her because 15-20 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.